Welcome back to Weekend Prime. I'm Robinson Okenye. Now to our weekly segment, Face the Facts. Tonight, let's strip away from the masks. Kenya's parliament is no longer the people's house. It's a house of cards, and every card is stacked against you. What should be a fortress of democracy has become a den of deals, a marketplace where loyalty is auctioned and shame is the currency. Here is Herman Kamariki with the facts.
Now, welcome to First the Facts. The National Assembly is our topic today. It is just a house of cards. Now, let's drop the pretense. Kenya's parliament isn't the people's house. It's a house of cards. And the deck is stacked against us. It's only becoming a house of cowards, a marketplace where loyalty is bought and shame is sold. Now, the Constitution is very crystal clear. Article 95 tasks our MPs with one sacred duty: to represent the people, to resolve their concerns, and to check the executive. However, our MPs have charaded that contract. Instead of checking power, they are cashing checks. You know, they have traded their spine for a seat at the table and their duty for a deal. They don't represent us anymore. They rent themselves out to the highest bidder. Now, let me take you back in the time in 2024 during the finance bill. Kenyans said no to the finance bill 2024. Civil society said no. And experts said it can't work. But our MPs had only one voice, the president's voice. He said, pass it, and they did. They passed the bill and paved the way for a massacre. When brave and armed young Kenyans filled the streets to resist, dozens were killed, hundreds were injured. And what did our MPs do? They only clapped. They clapped when the president theatrically withdrew the very bill they had forced down our throats. A bill we later learned they were paid to pass. Now, let me ask this question. You pass a bill, which is your duty, someone says it does not fit, and you clap for them for saying so. These are funny members of parliament. Now, the insults didn't just stop there. Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah sneered at protesters. What did he call them? You can listen to what he said.
Wale wengi unaona wakiandamana Nairobi, wameshika simu ya iPhone, wanajiita Gen Z, wanafika kwa maandamano na Uber, wanatoka maandamano, wanaingia KFC kukula kuku na minofu.
Now, tell that to the mothers burying their sons. Tell that to the families mourning their dead. Is this a leader or a lucky drunk on power, sobered only by the president's command? Leave Ichung'wah alone. Dagoretti South Member of Parliament, John Kiarie, shamelessly declared that protest photos were fake, doctored. You know, sometimes I laughed at it because I thought it's the usual comedy he's used to. And later on I realized he was using comedy to look like he's making something serious.
Some of the photos that we were seeing out of the streets, I can tell you as a graphic editor that they do not belong to this country. Photos were being taken off the internet and being edited and posed as Generation Z. I am a photo expert, Mr. Speaker, and I can point out to you photos that were edited to look like they were in the streets of Nairobi, but they were not.
That was funny, but really sad. That wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate lie, an attempt to delegitimize the pain of a nation. Even Deputy Speaker Gladys Sholei admitted it on the floor of Parliament, saying they removed Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua because the president ordered them to do so.
Your Excellency, I'm your loyal foot soldier. When you tell me speak briefly, I speak briefly. If you tell me Gachagua ende nyumbani, Gachagua enda nyumbani. So I always follow orders, and I will follow those orders today, and therefore I'll be very brief.
That is not independence. It is servitude. These aren't leaders. They are cowards hiding behind microphones, trading truth for political expediency. Now, this rot isn't limited to one side of the aisle. The opposition is often indistinguishable from the ruling party. They walk with the president as if loyalty to the state is more important than than loyalty to the people. They have admitted it, boasting that they, and I quote, pass bills because the president wants them to do so. That's funny, right? With the same breath, the president accused them of being corrupt. I laughed and even felt happy when the president said they were corrupt. But at the same time, I felt sad because who was corrupting them? And if they were corrupted, what are they still doing in the August House? Now, if your master calls you corrupt and you still clap, you aren't a leader. You're just a beggar in a suit. Now, from Kenya's past MPs, we can give these guys a lesson. Let me give them examples. Jean Maurice Rene, in 1975, when told to withdraw his statement that Kanu is dead, he famously replied, and I quote, "It's not a crime to tell the truth." He was jailed without trial. That is the price of integrity. Let me talk about Martin Shikuku, the People's Watchman as he was known, who was expelled for speaking against the one-party system. He never bowed. James Orengo, detained for resisting constitutional betrayal. He stood for multi-party democracy when it was dangerous, not fashionable. And I'll talk to you about this guy, Masinde Muliro. Spoke against dictatorship in parliament, famously warning that leaders who betray the people eventually fall. Let me wind up with Koigi Wamwere. Arrested, tortured, exiled, but never sold his voice for money. These MPs bled for Kenya. My name is Herman Kamariki, and that's Face the Facts.
Herman Kamariki with Face the Facts. Make sure you join him again.